Hello, my friends. So, I finished reacting to 2 episodes of Mob Psycho 100. Unlike this series, which I'm trying to do 2 episodes at a time to kind of speed along the reaction a little faster, that one will be 1 episode at a time. So, the first season's 12 episodes. I've already reacted to the first 3. Well, as the time this video comes out, the first 2 episodes will be published. Yeah. But, yeah, first season will fly along really quickly, especially if it's only 12 episodes. That show's a lot of fun. It would be so easy for me to just like watch a bunch and just record the reactions super duper, like all of them, but I'm like, no, it's good for me to pace it out because then I get comments and feedback from you guys, and that can change how I view a character or do commentary and so on and so forth. So I do really appreciate that. And of course, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe these videos. Liking is one thing, but if you comment on these videos, it actually really helps with getting noticed more. More comments, the more subscribes, the more shares, the better. But definitely those comments, love comments. They really do help with the YouTube algorithm, and then along with me consistently posting videos, definitely helps. So keep them coming. Anyway, this series, based upon the thumbnail for this season, we're going to be very heavily focused on the Todoroki family. And also, we've got Hawks, and it looks like we're going to focus a lot on Katrin, Deko, and unsurprisingly, Todoroki. I'm forgetting their actual names. I think Todoroki's... Is Todoroki's first name? No, it's his last name. I forget his first name. All these names, y'all. Anyway, last episode also ended kind of crazy because Hawks met with Dabi. So, and then the implication is that things are being manipulated. So Hawks is either playing the bad guys, or he for some reason is the bad guy. I don't know. I hope he's not, because he seems pretty cool and he's kind of good looking, so I don't want that to happen, but maybe not. I also find it very interesting that Endeavor now has a scar on the same side as his son's face, so that makes it, I guess you would call that poetic, and for sure that is the case. But we're seeing a lot of pain and sadness from, it looks like his Todoroki's sister and his brother, and then of course there's this idea, is Dabi actually the older brother that we hear about? I don't know if it's been confirmed yet on the manga, don't tell me. But yeah, a lot of crazy things happening, and apparently there's a lot of insane things happening in the manga right now, especially with Deko. Don't tell me about them. My brother said it gets pretty freaking crazy. So I'm like, oh great. Anyway, we're 5 seasons in. This show is gonna run for a lot of seasons, especially the manga's still going, so why not? But it's cool to pace it out. I know apparently people have some mixed feelings about this season, at least in terms of more of the filler information stuff. This episode was very filler, kind of tying last season into this new season. I'm curious if there will be a time jump between last episode and this episode, but it was very fluffy. There wasn't too much in the series except for some of the at the end there, a little bit with Endeavor and Hawks. But this episode's gonna be crazy, apparently, or at least parts of it will be with Hawks and Dabi talking, so that's gonna be kind of nuts. It looks like obviously the villains, League of Villains, are coming back around. They kind of got put on the back burner just a smidge in one way or another because of another lead villain and because of how fluffy second half of the season was, dealing with kind of breathing room and dealing with the aftermath of the really heavy season. But it tends to be, I've noticed pretty quickly that the series tends to go from really crazy heavy arcs to kind of more lighter arcs. It kind of swings back and forth to give the audience some breathing room and to allow introspection and learning and all of that jazz. But it's gonna be pretty crazy. I'm very excited. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. Anyway, if you're on YouTube, there's no sound. Partial image keeps covering monsters at bay. But you can follow along. It's a countdown timer to help you follow along if you like to. Without further ado, let's dive right in. This is where we left off. Hawks visiting Endeavor, who looks awful. He looks so weak in a lot of ways. He attacks him. I was wondering about that because he doesn't look as... He looks even worse than what we saw last time. Oh, of course. Oh yeah, some heroes actually like really got killed. Last season, but that last heavy arc, which was new for me, like people really died. Where's your feathers? Yeah, down with your bad self, bunny girl. Of course she'd come and help. Hopped over. Yo, she's jacked. My gosh. Ew. Oh. Todoroki. Mirko. Jeez. Look at the heat he's putting off. Beginning. Mm-hmm. I guess his wounds were more serious than they looked at first glance. This intro is super cute. I do like it. It's not like my favorite blood pumping one. That one is the license arc. Made my story still my top favorite. These are cute. Again, they're more wintry costumes, which for the most part, some of them are a little bit different, some of them not so much. Some of them have more layers, some of them don't. Also, with the Class B teacher, we're going to see more of Class 1B, which I'm like excited for. But also, is it Shinso? Is that his name? He's in the intro, which means we're going to get more of him. Yes! I love how he has such an Eraserhead look to him going on right now, with like the same materials and the thing that he has around his neck, which reminds me of Eraserhead. Not Eraserhead, Prison Mike. This is so cool. I know that certain characters are like the main leads, but some of my favorite episodes are when we get off and away from Deco and away from the One for All stuff, which is still pretty frippin' cool. And we can focus on other students. Those have become actually, sorry, my nose is kind of itchy. They've become some of my favorite episodes, really. Miriam narrated, so cute. So is that a really big feather? So he is working with the villain. I mean, the League. That's depressing and upsetting. Actually, that was a good test. She could. Why does he have earphones on? So, who is he playing? Hope he grows the wings. I'm holding on to the thing that he is playing the League. And I got confirmation there. Oh, I forgot to render it. Let's see. Yeah. Hmm. Does he do that because of his flying, protect his eyes and his ears? Because it kind of screws with his senses? He has one long feather left. Will he grow his feathers back? He's missing a lot of feathers. Hmm. So he is a double agent against the League of Villains. Ooh. Was that him kind of crying? Oh, so creepy. Oh, good. His feathers do grow back. This takes a while. He's dressed like such a cool punk dude. We almost forget Endeavor's very, very smart too. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Wait, he's carrying his. That's probably his suit, but he looks so weak, and that was weird and normal. He's a big man. He said bye. Ooh, interesting that moment where he kind of blocks his eyes and half lifts it up. Well, that's supposedly the hope. But he's using his teammate because of that. Hmm. Oh, now we're getting his background to his testing and stuff. He's so cool, but he's like a play off of uh X-Men's Angel a little bit. But there's like that extra level to it as well. Oh wow. Okay. Alright guys, what's Yakitori? He can manipulate his feathers. So again, like Angel, but like an extra level here. There's nothing really too much to add to this. But I was wondering, because we're getting it so early, I figured Hawks was just playing like a villain, which he totally is. And how he got connected to Dobby, I don't know. Maybe because Dobby's such a loose cannon, he kind of runs around on his own. No, is that Dobby crying and that's why he's bleeding, or is there something else there? Because um, the way that he's, I don't understand what's going around his eye and his mouth, but I'm sure I'll get back onto that eventually. But apparently, the idea that Hawks was he's a hero prodigy. He's out of intuition and help. He saved those people, and so the organization funneled money to his family and basically kind of put him on a single track. There was no going anywhere else. So, and he's good looking, he's popular, he's good with people. It makes sense he would rise so quickly through the ranks. And clearly he does actually really like Endeavor. But yeah, he's just from those little bits, he's a guy of integrity, but also, I know, there's a lot about him. I'm just very excited. Sorry. Oh, my eyes. I've been staring at a screen for too long. That was just those little moments that where Endeavor's like picking things up instead of just carrying it the whole way up. It shows, I guess, first of all, how weak he still is, but also just maybe how heavy his suit is. I loved how in the training it wasn't those spiral ones. It was a little beep, so that way it would make it not only easy for him to walk through, but to roll his stuff through. Whereas I see in New York, which is where I am now, is that when you go through the turnstables, which are the normal ones, the kind of, I'm sure there are more stations that are like that, but the thing is that when people have bikes and other stuff, they have to go through a different gate. But of course, there are jerks who like sneak through that gate so they don't have to pay the turnstile. So I just like those little gates because I'm more hyper aware of them. Anyway, I love the moment when he was like puts up with Hawks, says goodbye. Doesn't say it, but does it. I don't know, like that. Okay, let's keep going. And Kuzumochi is like a really spicy one, right? A hot one. Oh, Shoto. Cat doesn't like her. Oh, isn't that rude in Japan? Clearly he doesn't like cats. That's something. I noticed. That's I like her. Yes. He kind of looks a lot like his dad. He's big. Yeah, he was very manipulative. It's only the beginning. He hasn't changed that much. Oh, Toy is mentioned. It's gonna take a while, sweetie. It's a lot of pain. Man in his 20s. Man in his 30s. Couple in their 20s. Oh, look, boy. Oh, that kid! Hmm. He's right. It's so weird not having the constant flames. He looks so oddly normal. Well, he said the hero endeavor was amazing. He's still not... Yeah, there's a lot to atone for. It's a reasonable response. Hmm. It's a reasonable response. Yeah, he got to number one because number one... Oh my gosh. This is gonna be such a good redemption arc, guys. He's so good. He's the hero of peace. He's gonna be the hero of strength. Hmm. Hmm. So fascinating. This is so good. Oh, Mineta cares so much for him. That's right. Is that when he had that really weird dream? That really crazy, crazy dream. Oh, Mineta feels so bad for him. This is the previous holder of One for All. Yeah, but now he's getting actual faces and stuff. Their faces, their looks, everything. Why didn't he see All Might in that? Can't really see them. And they hold on to previous aspects of themselves. It's very similar to how, like, the Vampire Slayer from Buffy, like, how that works. But this one's more direct line. Why is All Might not part of that? Maybe because he has direct connection and All Might hasn't died yet, so he doesn't really have access to that spiritual aspect of this. So that's all for one. He was vaguely human. I thought he knew this. Oh, he did know this. He's trying to wrap his head around things. They always use opera for him, and it's so cool but creepy. Just the point. It's true. So this was really, really far back when... This was... Oh, interesting. So in his mind, transferring of quirks is a way of him bringing justice. But that's really at the core of it, not what he really wants. And it doesn't quite transfer correctly either. He makes it seem like that, but he doesn't. You're equivocating. He has the truth in his heart, so he can see what's going on. Oh, see? Manipulation tactics. Again, control. I am the god here. Again, manipulation, going it back on him. Wow. Oh. This is where I forgot One for All comes from all one. Wow, we're getting a lot of exposition here. And he's sick too. Probably weakness. Ooh, 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 ooh. Again, mercy. He wants to be God. Oh, these heroes, huh? And he destroyed them. Fanatics spying off fanatics. It's like so many like things that are going on right now. You know, certain things that begin with a B or an A going on. Volume 3. Interesting how it comes back to like comics. Very He-Man-esque. Again, he wants to remake reality. Who did he take it from though? That would be even more interesting. All My Dad said he never experienced this. He never experienced this kind of spiritual level of his power. That's how last season ended. Yeah, last episode was totally filler. Oh my gosh, we finally... Oh, it's the outro. Interesting, yeah, like the hands that were about to touch. And... Why? All My never really connected with this, so why... I'm just thinking in my head, why does Deco, why did it skip him? I'm sure I'll get my answers in time, but this is a really weird... And All For One said he found the meta power, so he must have taken it from somebody, which either was a transference of power quirk, or It was just a general power quirk. But I also, again, with the chips, and then there's Endeavor, of course, apples. Or persimmons. I just realized Minetta had, like, magazines. Oh my gosh, you know what? Probably Momo would be so enamored with all of this because she's so rich. It said happy birthday to you, so like, whose birthday is it? Be All Might's, because there's that little smash thing there. Yes, I love Class B. We need more of them. A lot of them are so cool. That blonde is so irritating though. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely watching the next episode for sure. Okay, let's talk about this crazy episode. Okay, so working backwards. We have Deku is seeing all these basically pass holders of One for All, and it kind of makes sense that as a transference of power, it would also hold on to aspects of them, I guess, to some degree. Again, I'm just thinking of Buffy and just kind of all of that. But slightly different is that it's an immediate one, and unlike with Buffy, where the power got weaker and weaker, or I guess since it was demonic power, it was more weaker and weaker. The power is compounding, kind of being multiplied, not one by one, but one times two, and kind of as it passes, it gets more and more and more powerful. So I'm wondering why. I guess we'll see in next episode exactly what All Might truly, I forget All Might's real name. I'll remember probably next episode. Toshinori. Yeah. What Toshinori basically saw or had experience with. Because when Deku was explaining the faces that he saw last time, Toshinori All Might was confused. He didn't have that connection. So I'm wondering why All Might, for whatever reason, was kind of cut off from being able to access past memories and stories. Was just because of how physical his powers were? Or is there something else in mind? Was he purposely blocked off from it? Did something happen that just kept him from doing that? I don't know. Maybe we'll get answers, maybe we won't. But basically, whatever door that was closed for Toshinori and open for all the others popped back open with Deku, which is fascinating. So we see the girl who preceded Toshinori, and a few people before then, and then some before them. So, yeah, I mean, this all comes back to a story of fighting brothers. Okay, Mabel. And of course, unsurprisingly, All for One makes it seem like he's so just, and this is all for the other people. And he goes, see, he hates his powers. He doesn't want his quirk anymore, but he needs the quirk. So it's that manipulation of things. Like, what I'm doing is justice. It's more of, I'm the god. I get to be in control, and I have all of my worshippers around me. And yeah, that is definitely the case. And it's pretty... Obviously, he's twisting the story and spinning it in a way that makes him seem amazing, and he would be probably a great politician if he wasn't one already. I'm reading, or I kind of paused because I was really confused by what I was reading, and I don't think I was in the headspace to read it, but I have a book by George Orwell called Why I Write, and it comes down to how politicians have the ability to make murder sound respectable and kind of all that stuff. And so this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that spin factor happening. And obviously the boy actually, like the younger brother, knows what he's really doing, the real evil that he's doing, how he's manipulating. And of course, this was many generations back, so quirks were still really new, and kind of the idea and the thought of them wasn't as commonplace as today, or as today's the storyline. I did kind of enjoy seeing like Menetta's concern for Deku. They all do in some ways are inspired by, but also really are concerned over Deku. It's just kind of how self-destructive he can be, or he was at times. So seeing him so drained like that obviously worries Minetta. Because he really... I know he's a goober and he's a perv and he's irritating, but Mineta does want to be here, and in a lot of ways he is inspired by Deku, so that's really kind of cute to see his concern for him. He does. What I love about this class 1A, is they all really care for each other. All the girls adore and love each other. All the boys adore and like love you, bro. They love each other. So this is kind of beautiful because of what they've been through. This is beautiful camaraderie and connection between all the class 1A. But also what's really fun to see is that even amongst this big group, there's even smaller connections. So it was really cute to see last season, like the girls hang out together and talk, and then see the boys hang out together and talk. So that's always really nice to see, and I really enjoy those moments where it's like just the boys or just the girls, or even again not focus on Deku and focus on the other characters. And I'm also really excited to have Class 1B come back in, because they've kind of, except for at the summer camp that went bad, they really haven't gone through some of the insanity that Class 1A has unfortunately gone through. And so, but it doesn't mean they're not also striving for the same goals. We see that with the other academies and the other heroes that either were on the hero tracks in their normal schools, which again, it reminds me of kind of ROTC versus the military academies in the States. You could go to the military academy in the States and come out an officer, but you could also go to a normal university, join the ROTC, and still come out as an officer when you graduate. So you're kind of, again, at the same authority level when you all graduate. It doesn't really matter. But some of these other ones, it's like, here's the prestigious hero school, and then one like, here's like a normal high school, but they have a hero track, which I'm sure many schools do. And we see that even though they're not all, for one reason or another, going to UA, they are still striving towards the same goal, which is pretty freaking cool. And it's nice to kind of see. So it is nice to kind of get pulled away from Class 1A. So I'm really going to love seeing Class 1B. There's so many characters I adore about them. And Shinse's coming back. And he's pretty cool. He's been clearly, again, we're going to remind, all these characters are working towards the same goal. And I'm kind of excited to see, I'm really excited to see what he's been able to like accomplish since we've last seen him. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies. And of course there's the whole thing with the Todoroki family, and there's just a Love Me Good redemption arc, and this one's gonna be so good. I can just feel it. But it's only the beginning, not only with facing the League of Villains and the Nomus, but also he has a lot to make up for. Injiri. Oh, I'll say his first name. But Endeavor has a lot to make up for. And it's going to be a long and hard road. And each child's going to be a little different. But, you know, there's hope with at least the 3 kids that he still has with him. Toy is a lost cause, aka probably Dobby, according to everybody. Now, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with enemies. I'll see you next time.